Reclined Bound Angle has a list of benefits, and some of those benefits include that it can help to open up the hips, the front of the body, the chest. It can also help to potentially regulate blood pressure, tone the digestive system. It can help to relieve anxiety. This list goes on. And Richard is here today to help us demonstrate variations for Reclined Bound Angle. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
To get into Reclined Bound Angle, start seated. You'll start by grabbing your blocks. And for the blocks, you can have them set up in a few different ways depending on how high you want your angle for the bolster. You can either do lengthwise side by side. You can change the blocks so one is a little higher than the other, or building it up so the one in the back is on the highest setting. For Richard today, I'll be doing lengthwise side by side. And then grabbing a bolster. Now, if you don't have a bolster at home, you can use a firm pillow, you can stack blankets, and you'll place this behind you. Letting the bolster rest on the blocks. If you know that you're working through low back discomfort, or if you need something that's a little bit more forgiving on the low back, taking a folded blanket, again, you can use towels here, and placing that between the bolster and your sacrum, which is the bone at the very base of the spine above the tailbone, the triangular bone that sits between the hips. Now, if you're not using this blanket, you'll want to scoot back so that your back of the sacrum is touching the bolster. Good. Okay, so this is the first option. Otherwise, go ahead and scoot forward again, Richard, placing the blanket there and scooting back so that you're touching up against the blanket. The next piece that you can add in is grabbing a bolster and placing that underneath your knees. Go ahead and grab that bolster there. Could be a rolled towel, pillows, blankets. And just testing it out, bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees drop open. If you know that you want more support underneath the legs, you can grab additional blocks, placing them underneath either side of the legs. And then from here, your hands go to the floor, lengthen up through the spine, the heart lifts. And then as you exhale, slowly recline back onto the bolster. Now when you come down, noticing how you feel with the head, you might choose to recalibrate, placing a blanket underneath your head, and I'll have you lift your head up for me, and your head comes back down. Good. And then you also want to check that your arms, your forearms and elbows are touching down to something. So here you can see when Richard relaxes his hand down that his elbow's floating a little bit. And for some people, this can cause strain in the shoulders. You can grab blankets or pillows and placing that underneath the arm. Good. Maybe drawing the heels in closer towards the body. Good. Now, if this feels good, this is your reclined bound angle. This is where you stay. If this isn't doable for you on the hips, draw the knees together and extend the legs out long, resting the back of the heels to the floor. Let the legs be hip width apart. And when you relax the muscles of the legs, the feet will naturally fall open away from each other. If you need higher support underneath the knees, you can build your bolster up on blocks as well. So that distance between the knees and the floor is up to you. Make sure that you're comfortable and that it feels good for circulation. And how about for you here, Richard? How is it feeling?
Feels very good, actually.
Feels good. Okay. Anything you would add?
No, this feels pretty much perfect for me. So.
Okay, so we found the variation for him. And if you're looking for variations for yourself that we weren't able to show here, if you have questions, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us.